Hey guys, it's the Nerdy Movie Guy. So today I'm going to talk about the movie A Quiet Place. I've been sitting on this one for a while. It's been recommended by so many people, and I heard of the concept and I thought that to me the concept sounded like maybe it could be a boring movie if there's really not much dialogue. But the thing is, there is dialogue in this movie. Not as much as you expect, but there's dialogue, and this movie just makes its whole concept, everything you've heard about it, just work. And I think it checks pretty much all the boxes of something you want from a horror movie, or at least mostly. So for this one, something happens in the first 5 minutes, and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Something happens that's just so unexpected to me that I felt set the tone for the rest of the movie and automatically just shot and destroyed my theories, because in the first few minutes I'm grasping what it's about, what could happen, how the world looks like, what the people act like. And in the first few minutes I'm thinking, okay, I see how this movie's gonna go, and then something happens and I have no idea how the rest of the movie turns out until I watch it, obviously. And so this movie just sort of goes against expectations in a good way and just keeps the surprises coming in a dramatic, exciting way that I didn't think a movie like this could have pulled off. So obviously we got a really good cast, and like I said, there is limited dialogue, but when dialogue is put in this movie, it's done cleverly to the point where I think they put dialogue just in the right places to where it's not just speaking lines, it's impactful scenes for something that's very personable or something emotional, for the movie and for the characters. So I just really love the way this director pulled off everything he put into it. So it is a creature feature. I was expecting to see the creature so early on in the movie, but you do see what it looks like pretty early on, or at least enough of a glimpse. And what this surprised me about this movie is the way it's paced. Is there's just one dramatic event after another to where it kind of just keeps you on the edge of your seat. It keeps you guessing, and you don't really know what's going to happen because you're constantly coming up with theories of what's going to happen next, and then that's not what happens. So for horror movies, there's so many horror movies now where something that can avert expectations is just sort of, it stands out now. And so I think that's one of the reasons why this movie stands out, and that's why I liked it, and I think that's why so many like it as well. So, like I said, it keeps building to these intense, very intense moments. And about halfway through, I thought we were in the last third, because I had a little bit of spoilers for this movie, but not very much, not to the point where it caused me to not want to see the movie. So about halfway through, something's happening, and I start getting really, really tense because it's a very tenseful situation that these characters are in. And I think the point it's trying to make efficiently, that I think it just forces you to connect with the characters because you're just rooting for these characters time after time with what's happening, what's happening with their lives, what they want to accomplish. It's the simple things these characters want. In a movie like this, they're wanting to survive. That is the most generic, simple plan that these characters have. And I think it's just done in a way where, like I said, not only are you rooting for these characters, but you become so emotionally invested that you're just drawn to the story just naturally. I wasn't thinking about critiquing the characters of the plot or the villains. It's just one of those things where you're just invested to the point where you're just focusing on the movie, and that's it. In this movie, because there's no dialogue, because obviously the characters have to be essentially silent for most of the time, this is one of those movies that if you're just on your phone for part of the time, there will be things you'll miss. You will miss parts of this movie. So you have to be focused. This is a movie you have to focus on to get the full experience of what this movie plot and characters have to offer. So this had a pretty solid ending, to the point where I thought, okay, so even though I know there's a second one, I thought it ended on a pretty good note where even if they never made one, I would still be satisfied with this ending. And it's crazy to see, just based off of this movie, to see why it's so successful. And now I'm just excited to see the next one and the new one coming out in theaters. So I think there's a lot this franchise has to offer. I think there's definitely potential for maybe some spin-offs. I could see this concept being a TV show even. I don't know how far this franchise is going to go, but I think there's plenty of multiple directions that it could take. So I see what happens. I'm excited to see Quiet Place Part 2, and I'm excited to see the new one in theaters. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. If you need a movie that's sort of a little bit different, this one's definitely different in a very good way. So I recommend checking this one out. Again, thank you guys for sticking with me. Keep it digging.